everybody for the Thursday Project 3 class. How are you guys? I am going to tell you again, I sent out your emails talking about the Zoom classes, and it's only going to be on a Wednesday. Our Zoom class is only on a Wednesday. I sent you the information about how to get on, the password, the code, the link, everything, and the time as well. On Tuesdays, we're going to have our normal YouTube class, so you guys can follow along. And on Thursdays, we're going to have our Zoom class with hopefully a little bit more speaking, so you guys can practice speaking, especially the people who are doing Trinity. Okay, the 4 or 5 of you who are doing Trinity, we really need to practice our speaking. So that's one of the reasons we're going to be doing Zoom. So what we're going to do today is, can you please go in your books to page 17, okay? On page 17, we're going to talk about history and early human migration, which is actually quite interesting, okay? So you have a text here. Can you please read and listen to the text? I'm going to read it, okay? And then you put these places in order that human beings arrived there. So did human beings arrive first to Australia, or first to Europe, first to North America, first where, second place where, third place where, etc. Okay, so are you ready? The human story. Modern human beings, Homo sapiens, first appeared in Africa 150,000 years ago. For thousands of years, they stayed in Africa, but about 60,000 years ago, they started to migrate into Asia. From there, some went north and arrived in Europe about 35,000 years ago. Europe was much colder than today, as this was the time of the Ice Age. However, there was plenty of food there. Our ancestors hunted huge animals, like mammoths and woolly rhinoceroses. There were already other people in Europe too. These were the Neanderthals. They left Africa 200,000 years ago. They were bigger and stronger than our ancestors. But by 20,000 years ago, the Neanderthals were extinct. We don't know why. Other groups of modern humans went east, further into Asia. From there, some went into Australia. The first people reached Australia about 45,000 years ago. Today, Australia is an island, but during the Ice Age, a lot of the Earth's water was ice. So sea levels were 20 meters lower than today. The seas between Asia and Australia were much shallower, and in many places there were land bridges. So it was easy to cross into the new continent. There was also a land bridge in the north between Siberia and Alaska. About 15,000 years ago, people walked across the land bridge into North America. They moved down through Central America and reached South America about 11,000 years ago. Human beings were now in every continent except Antarctica. Soon after that, about 10,000 years ago, the last ice age ended. As the ice melted, sea levels rose. Australia became an island again, and the land bridge to North America disappeared. No new people arrived in these places until modern times. Okay, so quite interesting. I'm going to give you a couple of minutes to pause the video and decide which places came first, okay? So pause the video and decide which order were these different countries in. Okay, guys, so these are the answers. First was Africa, then Asia, then Australia, then Europe, then North America, then South America. Okay, very good. Now, your homework is number 2. Look at the timeline and say what events happened at the times shown. So, what happened 200,000 years ago? What happened 150,000 years ago? What happened 60,000 years ago? What happened 45,000 years ago? 35,000 years ago? 20,000 years ago? 15,000 years ago? 11,000 years ago? And 10,000 years ago. So you have to write 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 sentences talking about what happened at these 9 different time periods. Okay? Now, let's have a look at number 3. We can do this together. Let's answer the questions. Number 1, how did the Ice Age help people to migrate to different continents? So remember, the Ice Age was when it was so cold and lots of things like seas and oceans were only ice. Okay, so the answer is, what do you think the answer is? The answer is that the seas were much shallower. That means that the water was not high, it was low. It was shallow. Shallower is more shallow. Okay, and in many places there were land bridges. So you know how we have a bridge, like the Roman bridge here in Lugo and many other bridges? There were land bridges before. So not human-made bridges, just natural bridges that people could cross on. Okay? So it was easy to cross between continents. What about number 2? What did early people eat? What do you think? Do you remember? Early people ate meat from mammoths. So this picture down here is a mammoth. It looks like an elephant, but it's really big and hairy. Okay? And they had woolly rhinoceroses. So you know what a rhino is, a rhinoceros. Woolly just means they have a lot of hair. So like basically a rhinoceros of today, but with so much hair. Okay? What about number 4? Where did the Neanderthals come from and what happened to them? Do you remember? The Neanderthals came from Africa 200,000 years ago. Long time ago. And they died out completely 20,000 years ago. But people don't know why. Why do you think Neanderthals died out and they don't exist? Maybe they had a disease like a virus or an illness. Maybe they had a war or a fight with each other. Maybe they had an accident. We don't know. Okay, what do you think? And number 4, why did migrations to Australia and America stop when the Ice Age ended? Well, if you remember, the Ice Age melted all the ice and the sea levels rose. Australia became an island and the land bridge from Asia to North America disappeared. So you can't really migrate that easily if you don't have a land bridge, because then you need a boat, you need to understand how oceans work, you need all of these different skills and abilities that some of these people didn't have at that time. Okay? Look at number 4. How did people get to South America from Africa? Describe the route. Okay? How did they get to South America from Africa? Well, it's possible they went from Africa to Asia and then north to Siberia, crossed a bridge, the land bridge from Siberia, I guess nowadays Russia, to Alaska, and then they moved down through North and Central America to reach South America. That's a possibility. Okay, the last point is also your homework for today, number 5. So remember, number 2 and number 5 are homework. Number 5 says, imagine, so this is creative. Imagine you are one of the first modern humans to arrive in Europe. Describe your new home. Okay. What does your house look like? What does nature look like? What do people look like? Can you describe this? Now, so number 2 and number 5 are your homework to do in your notebook. Okay. Perfect. So that's the end of our class for today. Okay, it's finished now. On Tuesday, you'll have a normal YouTube class. And on Thursday, we're going to have our first Zoom class. Okay, please contact me if you're confused about Zoom, you don't know what you're doing, you don't know what time the class is, etc. And I'll help you. Okay, guys, well, have a good rest of your weekend. See you on Tuesday. Bye.